James Bond is back in the final installment of this Bond trilogy. In this adventure, James Bond starts off living a peaceful life in Jamaica. However, that life is short-lived when an old friend from the CIA asks James Bond for his help. James agrees to help and begins an exciting and thrilling adventure. The threat in this movie is when the group known as the Spectre has created a bioweapon that contains nanobots that infects people and kills them like a virus. They are infected with these nanobots upon touch, but the trick about this bioweapon is that it programmed to only attack a certain person's DNA. Will James Bond be able to complete the task in his final film and end the threat? Ripe apples. James Bond is a hero who cares about others. He doesn't want anyone that is good to get hurt, and he does everything he can to protect the people around him. He is seen multiple times putting himself in harm's way to protect other people. The movie is mostly a thrill ride, so there isn't really any ripe apples per se, as no lesson is really learned. The movie is purely for entertainment. If any lesson was learned, then it would have to be that sometimes you have to put yourself in harm's way for the people you love to protect them. We also hear about the legacy of James Bond and how he fought to protect others. The CIA neutralizes the threat in the end and pays tribute to Bond's sacrifice. Rotten apples. The violence in this film is pretty graphic. Many people are shot to death. When this happens, we see blood sometimes, and other times we just see bodies jerk. We see one woman shot by an automatic gun and she jerks all over the place, but we see no blood. We see the bioweapon in action and it makes people's faces break out and become very bloody. Viewers also see other people fall from drastic heights to their death. One character has an eyeball that explodes in his eye, as well as the eye is taken out of his eye socket. We also see a car chase and multiple explosions. In one of the explosions, a person is knocked back many feet and barely survives. We see two people sleeping together early on in the film. We see no nudity, however. This scene lasts about 20 seconds and we see some kissing and touching. We see one woman just wearing a very long shirt that covers her just enough so that we don't see any nudity. A woman tries to help a man change and the man takes her taking his shirt off the wrong way and asks, "Shouldn't we get to know each other first?" Some women wear immodest clothing at a party. One woman wears a dress that reveals a lot of cleavage. We also see Bond shirtless. We see multiple drinking scenes. There are few during fight scenes meant to be gags. In other scenes we see people drinking and that they are giving a toast. We don't see anyone really act drunk, however. We hear many cuss words in this film. Hell, the S word, and damn are used a lot of times throughout the film, probably 7 to 10 times. We also hear bloody and bastard a few times. The Lord's name is misused multiple times. There is a few other words besides this, so be aware this film has a lot of language if you decide to watch this film. Conclusion. In the end, this is a good way to end Daniel Craig's Bond. The audience is left with the legacy of James Bond. James shows the audience that he puts others before himself and does his best to serve and protect. There were a few parts of this movie that were confusing and unnecessary in my opinion, but the overall plot is thrilling. Watching Bond track down the enemy to stop the bioweapon is thrilling, especially the fight scenes. I recommend this film to anyone who loves action and adventure. While this film is fun, be sure that you know the rotten apples that are in it. Overall, I hope you enjoy the ending of the Bond trilogy.